Hello everyone. Before moving on to today's video, I'd like to wish you all a very happy new year. Hope you all have a fun and productive year ahead, and hopefully we'll be able to control this virus and enjoy more freely this year. That being said, let's move on to our video. Today we'll have a discussion on internship experience at Google Zurich, and we have Devansh with us and he'll be sharing his experience. I'll try to briefly summarize his achievements, which is kind of little tough. So Devansh completed his BTech from Triple IT Hyderabad. He interned as software engineer at Google Zurich and is currently working in Google as a software developer, full-time software developer. Devansh also represented India at ICPC World Finals this year in Russia. And apart from ICPC, he has a lot of other achievements in contests like Hacker Cup and Code Jam. Welcome on the channel, Devansh, and I hope I did not miss anything in your intro.
Thanks for having me here. You didn't miss anything.
Sure, great. So let's start our discussion today. And as usual, the discussion would be segregated into four sections, and we'll talk about your general experience, about your role, tech stack, and then we'll move on to the requirements for the process, and we'll have a brief discussion on your interview process.
Sure.
And right. And also, as usual, the we'll add the timestamps in the description just in case anyone wants to jump to some specific section. Just feel free to do that. Let's move on to our first section. So, Devansh, which team did you intern with at Google?
So I interned in the team like shopping ads team in Google. So like shopping ads are those ads which are like from specific merchants like Amazon or like Flipkart. So merchants actually showcase their items on Google search. So if you search for shoes, some boxes come up with the items. So those are the shopping ads. So I was working in the shopping ads team.
Oh, right, great. And like, there might be other teams which would have offered internship positions in Google Zurich that time. So, like, if you remember, in which other teams your friends were working, or what were the other teams that were
Uh,
offering positions?
So there were like yeah, there are a lot of teams in Zurich as well. So I think like one intern with me was working in the privacy team.
Okay.
So and yeah, a lot of people were there in the shopping ads team, like shopping ads team also like around me. So I mostly interacted with those people only.
Right, right, got it. So, what kind of projects did you guys work on, and what tech stack did you use?
So my project was basically my project was on a backend pipeline which was processing like some kind of ads data. So I was responsible for adding a new stage in the pipeline, and I was also like working on converting the pipeline from a batch version to a streaming version. So like normally the data was processed in batches. So
Okay,
yeah, we had to convert it to a streaming version where like any update comes and like it's applied at the same time. So this was like the main idea. I was using C++, and like we were using Spanner, which is like Google's own custom database for like the
right,
data
right.
storage.
Sounds interesting. Right. So, I mean, it's really futile to talk about the work culture at Google. Google is famous for the best benefits and culture, but still, like, if you would like to add some details.
So the work culture was like really flexible. There were a lot of intern events which actually happened, and it was pretty fun interacting with people from all around the world. There was also like an intern summit from which like people across Europe came to like Zurich, and we had a like summit which had events and all planned. Otherwise, like we didn't have any enforced timings at all. Like we could work whenever you want. You just have to have an understanding with your manager. Uh, I didn't get to interact with like a lot of people since my project was kind of individual focused. So like it was mostly just my manager and like my co-host. So my interaction was limited to them for work. But yeah, otherwise we did have fun. Like,
Oh, great, right. And what were the benefits which were offered in terms of travel, accommodation, or maybe some entertainment things in Zurich?
so like basically we like the immigration support like was provided by Google, and then afterwards like there was a relocation package which like covered like both the like cost to stay there, like the cost for the accommodation and both for the cost of travel. So that was yeah. And otherwise for entertainment, like we didn't like have an entertainment perks, but like they did organize a lot of intern events, which is
Right.
the same.
Right, right. Great. And I think they offer all the other general benefits, like you have a generic insurance, and then you have all the meals and everything, I think.
Yeah, yeah, those benefits are there.
Did people get full-time PPO for full-time positions, and the other interns working with you and even you?
So I was actually like I was going to work for like I had college for 2 more years, so I wasn't like going. I couldn't have gotten a PPO, so I was up for a returning internship, and like yeah, so that was there. And for people who wanted to a PPO, those could also apply for a PPO. Like we got a form asking like what's the future plans.
Right, makes sense. Okay, thanks, Devansh. Moving on to the next section. So, first of all, did you was it an off-campus offer or was it on campus? And if off-campus, like, how did you apply for the position?
So it was an off-campus offer. So I applied using the like Google's career portal. So I like applied with a referral from the career portal itself.
Right, right. Okay, great, Devansh. So, I think it's relatively tough to get shortlisted for positions outside India. So, like, what according to you stood out on your resume that helped you get the interview call?
So like in my opinion, it's mostly like a lot of luck, and otherwise like yeah. So I had a couple of internships in a few startups, and I also had like some achievements in like programming contests. So like ICPC, Hacker Cup, and Code Jam. Like I participated in them and had some ranks. So maybe like some things out of those would have helped. But I feel there's a lot of luck involved as well.
Right, right, got it. So just a follow-up question, like if are there any specific tips on how to prepare your resume or like what kinds of skills and achievements can help someone get shortlisted for the process?
So I would say that like you should like one should just like try to do whatever they do and like do it best. So like for example, if you're doing competitive programming, like try to do like a lot of it and improve in it so that you have some actual like things to put on your resume and then like hope for the best.
Right. I will, there's no specific recipe. It's luck and just hard work. Like doing the best in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I think so. I think like in general, competitive programming helps a lot because the interviews are also generally focused on like TSA and like achievements help like people stand out from like anything like. But I would say that yeah, explore what you want, and, like explore what you like, and just do it. It should be fine.
Right, right. So also, are there any minimum GPA constraints for getting shortlisted?
No, not like none as far as I know. I
Right.
think like having a high GPA would obviously help, but I don't think there's a cutoff per se.
Right, right, makes sense. So, what kind of preparation would you suggest for getting higher? I mean, in terms of subjects and topics or difficulty level, like what is the bare minimum someone should have done before applying to Google?
So like the interviews are like mostly DSA focused. So like I would suggest like some experience with lead code or interview bit would be pretty useful. Otherwise, like I also had like I was actually into competitive programming, so I kind of had a lot of experience from there. I don't think that's necessary, but yeah, that will definitely help a lot.
Uh, Right, right. And okay, I think you covered that. So, I mean, I was going to ask, do we need to focus on core subjects? But as you mentioned, it's mostly DSA oriented. So I think core subjects wouldn't be required as such.
Yeah.
Right, right. Moving on to our last section for the discussion. So, would you like to give a brief overview of your interview process with Google?
Yeah, sure. So I had two technical interviews first. So the technical interviews were just TSA focused. So like in one of the interviews we had like I think like it asked some question with like something like PFS or some graph problem, and the other one was some kind of PP as far as I remember. And like these interviews were, I would say, like somewhat like they would be like not see like complex programming level, something like from lead code or interview bit. So yeah, like each of the round was of 45 minutes, where like the last 5 minutes was for general discussion. So we have like 40 minutes where the interviewer explains the problem, and then we have to code it up and like explain our solution. So that's there. And after that, if we clear these rounds, like there's a host matching round. So basically you have a discussion with the future host who wants to like take an intern, and they basically have a can it's more like a discussion where they like ask you about your experience, and like they tell you about the team, and like this it's a call to see if there's a match basically. So that's so I had like two host matching interviews as well. So like in the first one there wasn't a match, and the second one was a match.
Right, got it. I I think that's all from my side. I have no more questions. Devansh, would you like to add anything in case I missed something?
Uh, no, nothing else from my side.
Great. In case we missed out anything, please feel free to put down your queries in the comment section below, and we'll try to answer all of them. And also, we'll be uploading a bonus video with Devansh where we will be covering his ICPC experience and preparation. So do check it out. Thanks, Devansh, for taking out time and sharing your valuable experience. And I think we can end our video here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Stay safe and keep learning.